And welcome to Incredibly, your favorite show about superheroes. My name is Dennis. I am your superhero host, and I'm here with Joey.
Yeah.
And I'm here with Uchi. Let's party. Today, we're gonna go around and share some of the stuff that we're watching, reading, maybe playing, maybe creating. I don't know. Surprise me, you guys. We usually talk about the same topic or the same content, so this should be a little bit fun. I can't wait to see what you guys are consuming when you're not supposed to be consuming something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I want to know what you
Yes.
guys are doing when it's not a requirement for the show, right?
Mm.
But before we do that, let's jump into some Daredevil news because all three of us are super excited. We're all fans of the Netflix show from the past. We all went nuts when it came to Echo and Daredevil fighting. I may have seen it more than twice and maybe paused it more than 3 times. That doesn't matter. Joey, let's talk about some Daredevil news. What you got?
There are plenty of videos that have been making their way onto the internet as of late, with some leaks from the current set of Daredevil Born Again. And it's looking pretty good. We finally got Karen Page and Foggy Nelson back again, once again. Yes, sir. One single air horn. As well as some other things have been spotted. So, spoiler warning, in case you don't want to know, a certain Muse painting has been spotted on set there in the Devil's Kitchen. Muse being one of Hell's Kitchen. Sorry, Devil's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen.
Same
Thank you. Same thing. But I will get dragged to the comments if I don't get it right. So through Hell's Kitchen, as well as a certain other villain, potentially a certain White Tiger, making their way into the MCU via this Daredevil show. So so there's some things, there's some rumblings going around, as well as Bullseye making an appearance again, once again. You know, we got can't have Daredevil season 4 basically, which is what this is turning into, without some of the best characters we've gotten from the original 3 seasons. So we're seeing a return of Kingpin, Bullseye with Muse, and with potentially a male White Tiger, not the female White Tiger, which I believe is the female White Tiger's younger brother, being the titular White Tiger. So pretty interesting stuff. I'm really interested in seeing what you guys think about it, because I know that Daredevil is beloved by all, but really beloved by us. And we have we were so excited with Echo, seeing him there, seeing him in She-Hulk, seeing him in No Way Home, that now we're finally, the show is underway. They are filming in New York City, and you can go and actually see the Nelson Murdoch and Page sign if you get on set. So how are you guys feeling about this? Because this is so fucking sick that we're getting basically season 4, when for a while we didn't even, they said they were going to kill off Foggy and they were going to kill off everybody basically. Right. So where are you guys at? Like, where's your hype level?
My hype level recently with Marvel has been kind of mid. I'm not trying to get too hype and then get disappointed. I think that's part of the problem with me. I get way too excited, too hyped, and then when that happens, I get too critical. So I'm trying to cool down on that and just enjoy it, which is what I do most of the time. There's a lot of quote unquote bad stuff that I love a lot. You guys know, I'm a huge fan of Miss Marvel.
We know.
Right? And so the first thing that comes to mind is with Muse. This is definitely going to be a spotlight show. Maybe the one that we were actually promoted, not the one that we got in Echo. So to me, Muse is violent, bro. He looks violent, he's bloody, he looks like he's very emo in the daytime, you know what I mean? So
yes,
it's a very dark villain. And so actually I would say that I know 2 Daredevil fans, knew them, and I used to talk to them plenty. One of them really liked Muse and the other one didn't. So I don't know what that says. Maybe drop us a comment, let me know what you think about Muse if you are a Daredevil fan. But What I know is just he's just a dark character, and so to me, that's already screaming this is going to be dark, a little bit more edgy, and potentially a Marvel spotlight. You can't have Muse in it not be dark. He's literally a killer. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. What do you think, Ooch?
So like my hype for this, I don't feel like has changed. I have always been a firm believer even during the dark points where there was a time that there were those that thought that they were not going to have Karen and Foggy. And I'm just like, listen, this is what we may know right now, but the reality is we never knew anything. We just knew that Daredevil was getting another show at some point in time. But then, like, the rumors were going around and people were getting, like, concerned and upset because, yeah, like, rightfully so. How the hell are you going to have a Daredevil show without two of the other main characters that made that show what it was?
Yeah,
So I'm like, if you don't have Karen, you don't have Foggy. It's not Daredevil. It's just, it's like a version of Daredevil, sure, if we're being technical, but to give the fans the accurate essence of what the original Netflix series was all about, you have to have those two characters at the least. And obviously Kingpin's a
absolutely.
no-brainer, but like without Karen and Foggy, I mean, listen, bro, how you gonna have Nelson and Murdoch? Come on. Like, you can't. So I'm very happy to have finally not only after shortly after Daredevil and the rest of the Netflix gang getting donned the official timeline by Disney and Marvel, right? That placement, it's awesome even further now to to talk to you guys about how the filming has resumed and that they're all naturally there, which is beautiful. So it's awesome. Um, but I'm gonna obviously like I'm not gonna blow this out of proportion. Like this isn't like on some Spider-Man type shit.
Right.
But then again, no, I'm playing. I'm
Yeah,
playing.
if this was Batman, like, I'd be, like, jumping off the walls, like, if I heard some
Yeah,
crazy stuff, so it'd be great to see what people in the comments say. If you are a Daredevil fan, let us know if you're excited, if you're not. But yeah, I'm typically, like, a low-key Daredevil fan, like, I read his stuff sometimes. I was obviously a fan of the show.
right.
When it comes to the comic books, I read sometimes, and Bullseye, for example, Bullseye and Daredevil, it's a good matchup, let's say that, and some of the best comic book covers that I own with Daredevil, Bullseye is in it, so
Mhm.
it just like they're
Interesting.
paired very well, so I do like that. I think there's some interesting contrasts and similarities with the 2. So, yeah, I'm damn it, I'm excited now. I just said
Yeah,
I
like,
Good.
wasn't gonna be. Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, like, don't get me wrong, like, I sound, like, very, like, mellow about it right now, but it's only because, like I said, I'm not trying to overhype it because I want the show to speak for itself, and I know it, and I'm sure y'all know it, but those seasons of Daredevil on Netflix, there's a reason why people still talk about them as well as Punisher, because they're
Mhm.
freaking amazing. So, like, this is now Disney's opportunity, Marvel Studios' opportunity to really like remind people like why this show was given such high praises. And the other thing I wanted to say really quick before we can move on or whatever is that when Joy was saying White Tiger now, funny thing is when I hear White Tiger, my brain automatically goes to Power Rangers, let's be honest. But
it
You're
did
not
for
alone
me
in
too,
that.
not gonna lie.
yeah, but then I realized, wait a second, that's a Marvel Snap character, aka that's a Marvel character, duh. And I'm just like, okay, I've seen this person. I didn't know there was that's a Daredevil affiliation. That's kind of fire. That makes me a little bit more excited because then I get to see yet another character that's also represented in Marvel Snap now in the MCU in some form. Um, and it's even more interesting that it's not a female and instead like White Tiger is a guy, which also makes me like is his name Tommy Oliver? Like
Not
like,
Yeah,
in this
nah.
universe, not yet.
Yeah,
right.
nah. That would be kinda nuts, but
I
yeah,
can
let me
tell you've
not.
been wearing the varsity jacket, Ooch.
Yep, yep. I just
Yeah.
came from Frosty, so I finally got to flex that with my boy Tech. So shout out to Power Rangers Academia hitting 1,000 subscribers over there.
Hey, let's go. Congrats. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I
So
mean, if you don't think Power Rangers is cool, just just close your laptop or turn off your phone right now. No, 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 don't. We need the views.
Please listen to us.
Just stick around. All right, cool. Joey, any last thoughts?
Last thoughts. I know that you had mentioned maybe this will be a spotlight. And I think that spotlight is going to be reserved for much lesser known characters like an Echo,
Oh, right.
where
fair.
I don't know if this is necessarily going to be like spotlight for very rated R shows or TVMA shows, you know. So I think they're going to go all out. I'm hoping that the violence is still there. I know that's something that we all kind of wish. I don't know if Uch had said this, but I think Dennis and I kind of wish that there was more violence in Echo because they were kind of hyping up to be this, where
Hmm.
we haven't really seen anything for Daredevil yet. No trailers or anything. There hasn't even been an official poster, I don't think. So I really hope that they're able to hone in on like the grittiness that Netflix allowed them to have and really shine that through. Especially if you're going to have somebody like Muse, you're going to have somebody like White Tiger coming in. Um, I'm really excited to see what they're able to do. It's like this is a huge step forward for not just Daredevil in the MCU, but like all of the external Marvel projects that we've had over the past however long. You know, for them to finally say, "Hey, Defenders are in the MCU. This is canon. This is everything." It's only the next step would be like bringing in Agents of Shield or bringing in any of the other shows. Maybe not Inhumans. We don't got to talk about Inhumans, but maybe the
Ah,
other shows like Cloak and Dagger or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see what doors open and what doors close depending on the characters because I think that Daredevil had a huge impact on Kevin Feige and the rest of Marvel wanting to actually include them in the MCU as a whole. Because I mean, there's a reason why Black Bolt kind of got written off and rebuilt in Multiverse of Madness. So Kevin Feige is a fixer, that's for sure. He likes to take characters that are broken and have been discarded and kind of fix them up. So
nice.
we'll see what happens. So I'm very excited, man. Like I loved Bullseye. I loved everything about the first show. So and to see Karen and Foggy and Matt back in once again together, like just seeing the leaked videos and stuff of them walking together out of Nelson Murdoch and Paige just warmed my heart so much. I
Yeah.
shared it with Crystal. Crystal was so excited about it. I even showed Sarah. I was like, "Look, babe, they're here. That's finally happening. Like this is so sick." So I am beyond ready to be born again
Ooh,
as a Daredevil fan.
I like that. Very nice.
Kevin Feige, if you're listening, you put Punisher at the end of that series. Just do it. Trust me, the internet will go crazy.
I think there's no way that you have Daredevil season 4 without Punisher. Like
I'm not
I
gonna
wish
jinx. I'm not gonna say nothing.
No, no,
that's
no.
fair.
You do it, Kevin. All right?
Yeah. I think it's the
Do it.
perfect way to bring John Bernthal into the MCU.
Yes.
There's no way it doesn't happen,
Yeah.
right?
I'm not gonna say
It's just
shit.
and I get it. Daredevil was amazing, right? But to me, Punisher, like, was just so raw. It was
Yes.
just so I don't know, man. It's nasty, like, in a good way, right? Ah,
Easily one of my favorites, but
yeah.
I'm not even gonna the reason why I'm not even gonna say nothing is because, like, I don't wanna derail and, like, waste y'all time because, like, I really loved Punisher 2, and if we see this dude make, like, an appearance, I'm screaming. Oh my god.
I think we will all go crazy for that one. Alright,
Amen.
let's jump into some reading, watching, playing, maybe creating. Okay, Uchi, let's start with you. What are you watching, reading, playing, or maybe even creating? And if you have a lot of stuff, just start with one for now.
Okay, well, yeah, if we're gonna do, like, one pass it around,
Yeah,
then the first thing that I'll start with, you said watching first? I mean, it doesn't
sure,
really matter,
anything.
right?
Up to you. Yeah.
Okay, so I have been watching Solo Leveling, which is one of the newer animes that has recently come out on Crunchyroll. And it's about this. It's like very Sword Art-y esque. It's like very video game esque, where it's like they're in a world where there's creatures and things that are behind these portals that the humans in this world have access to, and if they have this power that awakens within them, they're the ones that end up being what they call hunters, and then they can like go and defeat these boss characters and these monsters to then level themselves up. So it's like it's very video game esque. It's an adaptation on the manhwa of Solo Leveling, which has been a series that has it came and went. It was kind of short, I guess. It only was like a couple years long. Um, so far though, it's kind of slow.
Mm,
But I mean, I've heard so many good things about it, especially from like trusted friends, that I'm just like, all right, I'll let it cook. But I'm just saying, first impressions are everything. And right
right.
now,
Mhm.
first impression not too strong. So
Mm.
Was this the topic of last week's full power podcast?
it was like one of the things that
Okay,
we talked about. Yeah, we've been
tune in.
definitely talking about that a little bit on the last couple episodes. We did like episode 1 and 2. Um and I think by the time we're doing this, episode 4 just came out for Soul Leveling, and like I was that's what I'm saying. Like we're 3 episodes in and it's just like, bro, like we know where it's going. I need y'all to get there, okay?
Right.
Because like I fear for people's attention spans. It's not even for me, like it's like anime to me is like in a very like delicate and like sensitive like spot. Kind of similar to like comics in a way.
Mm.
Where it's like if you're not grabbing people's attentions like off rip, it's like you risk like that span lasting. So I don't know.
Especially now.
Yeah.
People's
Right.
attention spans is like non-existent.
There's
That's what I'm
just too
saying.
much content out there to
It,
consume,
it,
right?
it really is.
And
That's
not
why
enough
people
time.
bouncing it back and forth.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go next. I'll start with this. I'll start with Ultimate Spider-Man number 1. We
Yes.
didn't get a chance to talk
Mm.
about it too much. Um, if
Unload the buttons.
you watched Comics with Den, which was a YouTube channel that I started, and then I switched over to skip the previews to focus on films a little bit more, you would know that I feel a certain type of way about Jonathan Hickman. Uchi, you know this as well.
Yes.
It's not that I don't like him, it's just that sometimes it's a bit too much for me and I have to reread it, and he's usually in charge of big projects and stuff like that. He is the guy you go to when you need the job done. This comic book did not feel like a classic Hickman writing, and I actually like it. It's almost like
Yay.
right? It's almost like he took 2 steps back and was like, I'm gonna chill on the Hickman thing a little bit and just bring another side of myself. And so I really loved this issue. And my Uchi, you read it, right? You read
Number
this one?
1, yes,
Yeah.
I did read it. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Um, I love a couple of things. I won't give too much away. You guys should read it for sure. But I love Jonah's and Peter's friendship. I
Right.
love that we got to see Ben Parker. It's just, and it's so crazy because it was less about Spider-Man, Ooch, and more
Right.
about the people in his life and the
Yeah.
relationships amongst them. And it was so good. And the art hit, it was incredible, everything was amazing, and then there's this moment where I hope young readers, old readers too, anybody can really appreciate, which is Mary Jane and Peter talking as a just a couple in a partnership, in a relationship, and they're just very open and supportive to one another. It's different. There's maybe a lot more dialogue in a first issue of Spider-Man than I've ever seen before without Spider-Man, but it's just it was just so good, and I can't wait to see more. I loved how everyone's relationship was kinda, like, together and indifferent, and there's still a lot of questions to be known, and ooch, there's just, like, this crazy Tony Stark, and, it's just I don't wanna say too much. Joey, if you haven't yet, you gotta dig in.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
Is this comic the fallout of Ultimate Invasion?
I
Yes.
believe it is, yeah.
Yes.
That's
I
fucking
kinda
sick.
got that hint, yeah, without
Mhm.
even finishing Ultimate Invasion, which I
Yeah,
still want to finish, but
Yeah.
we both need to.
yeah.
I think when we started doing the podcast, I think actually that's when Ultimate Invasion was coming out. I
Yeah,
think
that
it
was
was, like,
one
one
of
of
the
the
things
first
we talked
episodes.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think it'd be good for us to do it, but I've heard nothing but amazing things coming from people for this new comic, and people are so excited about it. So go read Ultimate Invasion and then go read Ultimate Spider-Man
Yeah.
because the shit that I have heard about that, I've seen so many memes about Iron Man, and they don't make sense, but I have the feeling they will make sense as soon as I get through like half of the book. So
Mm.
it is on my to be read. I'll tell you that.
Ah, the
That's for sure.
TBR. Nice.
TBR, but it's also on that list is my thing I'm reading currently, which is all of One Piece.
Oh,
All of it.
shit.
All of it. I've been meaning to catch up. The live action dropped and I enjoyed it so much that I was like, you know what? It's time. Like I really need to dig down and get through this. So right now I am this is a zero spoilers, but I am chapter 850,
Yo, here
I
I
believe.
thought he was,
Okay.
like, where I am at the beginning at, like, 44.
No. No, I am well in the trenches of One Piece. I'm in the midst of the Whole Cake Island arc, which is with Big Mom. Shout out Big Mom. You'll find out who she is much later, much past chapter 44 or
I got a
47.
ways to go.
Yeah, but I will say, man, I'm so excited. You guys kind of touched on it earlier on Full Power, but with the One Piece, which is the One Piece, it's not necessarily a reboot. It's like they're remaking One Piece. It's a One Piece remake with new animation style, kind of condensing it, removing the filler, and just gonna plow through it.
One Piece Brotherhood.
Basically,
Interesting.
except it's yeah, I guess pretty much yeah. Um,
When that happens in anime, is it usually like a frame rate thing? Is it the art style? What is it exactly? When you say they're remaking it?
this is literally they're drawing frame by frame a completely new show.
Yeah,
Okay,
Not
okay.
yeah.
maybe not drawing, but it's going to be a new art style, probably new art style. There's the current anime or where the anime is currently is with a new studio, and so I believe that studio is also taking on the production of the new stuff. So it's gonna look really good. Not that One Piece originally looked awesome. Like
Yeah, fine.
it's always looked stellar,
Mhm.
but the new art style is really, really good. Actually, really fitting for the theme of One Piece. It's like very it's like new anime, like not necessarily chibi, but like everything's like really soft and fun, and it just looks
Okay,
good. And so, but the One Piece, I believe, is probably slated to come out next year. Is
okay.
going to be a condensed version of it.
Oh,
Next year or the year prior. It's going to be a condensed version because they're removing filler and they're kind of going to
mm,
adapt it at a faster pace than they did. Because one of the biggest issues with One Piece is the
wow.
pacing, or at least the anime is the pacing. So
Mm,
they're literally like 1,100 episodes in, something crazy, or 1,600.
that's
Something
wild.
it's some insane amount of episodes.
Wow.
So what they're doing is One Piece is wrapping soon within the next few years. That's what yeah, exactly. That's
Oda's
what
been saying that for a long time, bro. He gonna
Oda
keep
is
cooking.
yeah. So it's supposedly wrapping. And so what they're aiming to do is with all the new people coming in because there's been an explosion of One Piece recently. It's always been like the number one anime manga in
Yeah.
Japan outside of Japan with the live adaptation, so many new fans would come to it. And so they're like, what's the best way to get people into it? Let's just remake the anime. And so that's what they're doing. And it's all part of the big celebration. So it's really cool. It's a wonderful time to be a One Piece fan. It's a wonderful time to get into it. But if it's too daunting because it's too big, which I get, trust me, it's humongous. The One Piece will be for you.
That's
Yeah.
So
cool. I
definitely
wonder, like, you guys obviously know a lot more than anime than I do, but with a legendary show like One Piece, when fans and diehard fans learn about this kind of like new art style, like what does the temperature look like? Because this isn't like just a show that was on for like three seasons or 3
right.
years and then came back. Like this is like a super meaningful series to a lot of people. Like, is the temperature okay so far?
I would think so. I
Yeah,
mean,
people are
like,
fucking stoked.
yeah, like,
Okay.
cause a lot of so the what I've noticed is that One Piece fans are always trying to share their love for One Piece, just like with anything else. But they understand that like it's like a lot of work. You know, it's like
Mhm.
it's a lot of show to consume, whether you take the anime route or the manga route. Me personally, when I started it, I figured reading it would be a lot faster anyway, and I wouldn't have to worry
It
about
is.
filler because filler don't exist in manga. It's straight up. That is the source, you know? But hearing and knowing that they're going to take this approach of, even though it's not finished, let's remake this because
Mhm.
that to me tells me that they're aware of a big issue of trying to gather new fans. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Right.
pleasing everyone for its existence, but it's like, how do we get more people to like get involved without having to like look up some guide online and what episodes to avoid? Let's just like, make it brand new because, things that get remade or rebooted, it's like it is a brand new project. So it's like something
Mhm.
that they can further promote and just have like, a bunch of
Right.
marketing behind it and treat it like it is brand new because it is. So I'm actually excited for it. And I'm hopeful that by the time it comes out, like I am at least like 100 chapters in. But it's a show that I'm not gonna lie, Dennis, is something that it took me a lot of maturing as an individual to get past the stupid criticisms I used to have on One Piece. Because I'm like, look at this freaking rubber guy. Like he can't even swim. Like, what is that? Like mind you, I'm watching Dragon Ball and Naruto and all this, and
Right.
I'm like, everything's way cooler aesthetically, at least to me, and then like I see One Piece, so I'm clowning on Luffy and the rest of these pirates for a good majority of my life, and I own that. And it took me this long to finally just be accepting. I'm like, all right, people love this show and they respect Oda. So then like, all right, I matured to a point where it's like I respect Oda too because he's still going. He's among that big three with Bleach, Naruto, and himself on One Piece. He's still going on. Like he hasn't stopped. Like it's just continuous. And so after I read the first chapter, that is when I learned and realized for myself, I'm like, I now understand just off one chapter why people love this so much. It's a
That's awesome.
fun, great show, and I feel like anybody could get into it. So shout outs to One Piece
Mhm.
on incredibly. That's
That's
funny.
awesome. Hey, I always told you guys the reason, the name Incredibly was chosen versus, like, Incredibly Superheroes or, like, anything like that was because there should be incredibly games, incredibly
Mm.
anime, incredibly
Mm.
superheroes. So, I'm
Yeah.
always down to learn about anime, especially you guys know this.
Incredibly
Uh,
wrestling because fucking
Incredibly
Joey.
wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Start throwing shit around. I love it. So
We
I'm
got
super excited.
games. We got anime. we we got superheroes. One beer.
Oh, that works crazy.
Anyway.
So I love this. I do wanna ask you guys one more question, though. In the comic book world, there's still a lot of, I would say, OGs, I almost said old people, OGs who are still into comic books. Do you guys find it to be the same thing with a show like One Piece? Has there, because I wonder when it comes to a remake and like a new project in One Piece, is this because like the original fans have kind of like grown out of it? No?
No.
Okay, cool. Because in the comic book community, I would say there's a lot of OGs in there. Like they've been reading comic books since they were 9 and now they're, you know, 70 with like kids and
Yeah,
all
that's
that. So
amazing.
they keep going. Okay, that's cool. It's real cool.
I think Ooch could probably talk on it a little bit more, but like within anime, it's kind of like there is no age range. The age range is
Mm,
like everybody. It's like, like you can go anywhere in the world and mention Goku, and at least one person will know who you're talking about. You can go anywhere in the world and mention Naruto, and somebody know who you're talking about. And it
right.
doesn't matter like if you're young or old. It's just it's how do I put it over here? It's like Friends in America is what
Mm,
anime like think of like Naruto or Dragon Ball or whatever is like over in Japan. Is anybody can enjoy it. Everybody knows what it is, and you really don't grow out. Like Dragon Ball is humongous in Mexico. like everybody
Yeah,
in
South
Oh,
Mexico,
wow.
America.
yeah, they like love Dragon Ball, and I think it's basically like the same for One Piece for the most part. But like it doesn't matter
Awesome.
how old you are, and so the thing that anime and manga have over comics right now is that there's a huge push for it within the younger generations in the states where it used to be frowned upon. Same with comics, but it used to be like frowned upon if like, oh, you like, you
Right,
watch Sailor Moon or you watch Naruto, like you're a fucking nerd. But now it's
right,
like you don't watch Naruto, like you aren't watching or you
right.
aren't reading like Kagurabachi, like you're not reading like whatever the hottest new manga is or manga is at the time. Now you're the kind of the outcast for not having watched that stuff. So like there's this cultural shift going on where there's so many people coming into anime that or anime manga that is kind of like that doesn't really happen. So I don't know what it would take. It's probably because it's so new and different
Sure.
compared to comics. I don't know what it would take for that kind of reemergence to happen in the States. I think it kind of did happen when Marvel was kind of rising into popularity
Sure.
with the MCU.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know what it would take for that to happen now with comics. Something like big would have to happen, but I don't know what that is. Maybe like, Taylor Swift showing up in Deadpool 3 as Gwenpool?
Yeah, maybe. What one thing I read comic books my whole life, the one thing that I loved about when I do read or consume anime stuff, it just hits differently. Like, it's a little bit more emotional. I get all the feels. It just hits a little bit differently from an emotional perspective. And, actually, Uchi, I can't wait to hear what Crystal thought about Attack on Titans. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Take
forgot
it
to
on.
answer your text, and that's on me. But yeah, like so far, like I'm waiting to give like a clarified answer because right now she's in like a phase of learning and like seeing what she's seeing, but then trying to like, figure out what's going on. I'm waiting for her to see what happens in like episode 4,
Oh,
which
no.
which we're about to be on actually.
Yeah.
We watched the first 3 episodes.
Oh gosh.
Um and like so far, she's like, she I guess she likes what she's seeing, but like, right now she's in like she has a lot of questions,
Yeah.
which is good, right?
Mhm.
But I'm waiting. I'm not
Okay.
You're gonna have a
saying
lot
nothing
more.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, man, it's just like it just gets better and better too, in my opinion, especially that first season.
Yeah, no, it does. Especially since like it's over now and I've seen it all, I've read it all. And now that I'm getting to re-experiencing it, I'm getting to re-experience it with her in a more like straight up way. Like I don't have to wait like 3, 4 years to watch the second season. Like once we're
Right.
done with season 1, I could just go right into season 2 with her. Should we make it that far and she's still interested. Cuz like I'm not a fan of like making somebody like do anything, watch, play, whatever. They
Mhm.
like genuinely not into just cuz like I know how I would feel cuz I'm like,
Yeah,
man, like
exactly.
whatever, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Um
that's crazy. Well, sorry I took you guys on, like, an anime loophole, but it's just always so
Don't ever
interesting to me,
apologize.
and I have to, like, lean in to you guys for that, so I appreciate you.
Uh, listen, I was even gonna suggest like for next week because I know that because trust me, we could keep going on, but like, for even if it's not next week, but I know it would make sense if it was because we're talking about it now. To have like a conversation. I actually started this conversation full power, and I'll be
Mm,
glad to bring it over here. Is like comics versus manga
mm.
is a conversation that I would love to have with you guys just because of the things that I had said that I feel like you guys would agree with, but it is an interesting topic just because of what I want to say, but I'm not going to say it because spoilers.
Mm,
I love it. All right, let's jump back into some things. I'll go really quickly. I had a few more, but I'll definitely do the one that I want to talk to you guys about because time is running a little fast. But I want to talk about Wolverine number 41. So, spoiler alert, when I'm not
mm.
watching, I'm reading a lot.
Mm.
And Uchi knows this. And if you watch some of the Comics with Den videos, you would know this too. I try not to read X-Men because it's just way too much.
Yeah.
It's nothing against X-Men. I love it. I do stay up to date with some things through like Iron Man had like some interesting like crossovers and like Wolverine will have some of that stuff. So I do that. So Wolverine 41. This is the beginning of what is being called Saber-tooth War.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What is
Okay.
that, Dennis? That sounds fucking sick.
It
So
is.
this takes place before fall of the House of X and the rise of the power of X. So if you know, you know, but there's just a lot there. It's Wolverine's birthday. Sabretooth has taken over a section of Orcus, right? And because of that, I think it's like Station 5. And because of that, he has access to different variants of himself, different variants of Sabretooth. I'll give you just one example. One of the variants can camouflage to anyone or any superhero, so much so that they could have the same scent.
Wow.
Like it goes that deep, right?
That's fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
What? It's just crazy. And so I'll just say this. It's you can pick up this issue and read it. I truly do believe that. You can just pick it up and understand what's happening with the Sabretooth War. It's gonna be 10 issues and it's incredible. This issue was bloody, like
Ooh.
savage. It's just he's Sabretooth. He's just ripping things apart, literally.
Oh,
And there are some tough moments. You guys have to check it out. Wolverine number 41. I think it came out last week. Uchi, you know this. You go through this too. Like our stack is just insane when it comes to comic books.
I actually think I have it on my reserves. So,
Nice.
yeah.
There you go. And it's just crazy. I highly recommend it. The beginning of Sabretooth War. I believe the next issue comes out in 2 weeks. So it's going to be 10 issues. It's Wolverine versus Sabretooth, and Sabretooth is just on a rampage. It's gruesome, but check it out.
Sabretooth for Punisher villain.
Hey, let's go.
Let's see it. Let's see it, Marvel. Make it happen.
All right, Uchi, what else you got?
So I guess the last thing I'll mention, something that I've been playing outside of fighting games, because like I mentioned, I was at Frosty Frosting, which I got 7th place in Power Rangers, so shout outs to that.
Let's
I
Hey,
got
go, dude.
I got a medal in top 8, right?
what?
Hell yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a surprise for me too, because I'm just like, damn, that's crazy. So besides the fighting games, Pal World. Have to give
Oh
a
my
shout out
god.
to
Hey.
Pal World. Because let's face it, when you give me a game with really good like gameplay, some creatures that are very similar looking to Pokemon, and the potential of having like limitless like anything, it sounds like you're gonna be in for a good time. And this is a game that truthfully, going into it, I didn't really know what I was actually getting myself into because I've never played a survival type of game before. And a lot of people in my chat when I was streaming it was telling me like it draws comparisons to this game called Ark, which is like very dinosaur
Yes.
based. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like in this game, you're for those that don't know, I mean, that's crazy how people don't might not because it's like it has over 8 million sold. Like that's
Insane.
insane, right? For an indie game at that. And it's like $30. So it's incredible. So congratulations to the developers for Power World. But it's a game where they literally just start you out on a random part of an island and no real like anything to go off of. Like, oh yeah, like here's this character that's explaining you the world of Pal World or like how things are supposed to be and how they go and what you should do or suggest things. No, they drop you off in the middle of nowhere. You got no clothes on. I mean, you're not like butt ass naked, but like you got nothing. Okay. You have no resources. It's just you and your hands and feet. Right. And you have like a little suggestion box. They call it a tutorial where it's like it gives you objectives, but it's on you to figure those things out. So it's like the controls are very basic, which is fine, but it's just like you're like trying to get to the part where it's like, okay, well, where's the Pokemon, right? Like I called these pals Pokemon so many times because out of habit, I'm like, where is that part, And you see them out and about, like in the wild, and you can fight them, you can catch them, but you need those pal spheres. So it's like, how do you get pal spheres? Well, then you have to fucking make them. So I'm like, what? So it's like all this crap. And before you know it, you end up putting in hours into this game,
It's crazy.
right? And you're just figuring shit out. But it's like this weird, satisfying feeling that I have not had really in any other game that I've played. And this is nuts because it's like people want to call this a Pokemon clone. It is not. Let me just tell you, and I'm gonna stick up for Pal World for this because, like, a lot of people are gonna make the accusations like they are completely ripping off these Pokemon models. Well, let me just remind people that Pokemon are based off animals, and especially if you want to keep them looking cute,
Yeah.
there's bound to be some overlap, some similarities.
There's only so many animals, dude.
Right.
And
Exactly.
there's like 1,000 plus Pokemon.
Right. And it's like, and Pokemon, I'm not gonna lie, they're running very, very slim on like their creativity on
Mhm.
creating new monsters in the first place. It's like we're like what, 8 generations in? I don't even know anymore
I think it's
because
like 10 almost.
yeah, like I know they're well over 1,000 Pokemon, which is insane. But it's just like the further we go out, the more whack they get, and like there's not as many cool ones anymore. Pal World is very refreshing. It's very new. It still has like the same essence when it comes down to the look of these pals. But dude, everything feels completely unique and very much very unlike how Pokemon is. And this is an indie game that is essentially like putting their nuts on the table, saying like, "What you got?" Because these pal spheres is fucking bigger than your Pokeballs. You know what I'm saying? We out here. That's literally how it is. And like it's a big statement, but dude, it's a fun game. And again, this is coming from someone that does not play no types of survival games. It's so fun, and I'm actually looking forward to playing it whenever the hell I get a chance to do that next. And I've just been doing solo, but you can do there's multiplayer and everything like that, and they're actively like updating the game, so I feel like at some point it would be really cool if all of us like played it. We like
Yeah.
started like some world or whatever to experience it
Down.
together because I'm sure it's more fun with friends
Oh, yeah.
because like I've just been having all this fun by myself. Like I made a big ass house for all my pals. I set them up and we got raided and I didn't even know that could happen. Like we got raided by like a bunch of like NPC Team Rocket head ass motherfuckers.
That's
Yo,
crazy.
they fucking thought they came up and all my pals fucked them up. It was crazy. And I didn't have to summon nobody. They all just started fighting, and I was like, "Yeah, let's go!" And we handled them quick. Nothing got damaged. I fed them all. I was like, "Yeah, y'all did some good work out here, Pal World, son."
That's crazy. That sounds amazing. Can I ask you a quick question? What was like your shock moment? Like what was the moment you were playing this game and it just like a memorable moment like that just got you like a sometimes it's like they'll call it like an aha moment, like you're like, "Oh," like and you just wanted to go in deeper.
It was probably that where,
Oh, yeah.
like, we got raided. Like, I said like, I had to find land. That's the thing, like, you have to adventure and just, like, you like, the limitations are endless. Like, you can just be very creative with this game, and like I said, I don't play games like this. Like, you could compare this,
Mhm.
like, to Minecraft or something. I don't fuck with that
Oh,
shit,
wow.
but Pal World, for some reason, I just think because of the aesthetic and how it looks and how it's, like, similar to Pokemon, that's all you really need. It's kind of like with like a fighting game where it's like you pick a character that kind of like appeals to you, like you're attracted to or whatever, and then like if they look cool to you, like that's the reason why you're gonna pick them up because like oh this character looks dope, have cool moves. Oh, I'm gonna pick them up. They look cool. The same thing with this game. So yeah, it was that moment. Like my pals was really there for me. Like I thought I was about to fight all these fucking people by myself and they were just gonna act stupid. No, they stopped all their jobs because again, like when you set up your little base, they they do shit. Like they mine, they plant seeds, they water, they're very resourceful. And when you see all of it happening, you're just like, that's the aha. And then when they tried to fuck it all up, and they said they dropped their pickaxes and all that shit, and they're like, and they just started fighting back, bro. It was the coolest. I gotta find that clip. I gotta show you guys. It was
Please
so
send it
sick.
to us.
Yeah, send it to us. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. I've heard great things. Like anything, people are gonna love it, people are gonna hate it. But I'm glad that you liked it. I'll be down to play. That sounds
We
awesome.
gotta all play. Like I gotta get it.
That's amazing. All right, Joey, we saved the best for last. Hit us with one more thing. Rubbing the hand.
I've been watching wrestling.
Oh, how did I know you were gonna say that? Oh my god.
Hey, I
And
like
we
this,
just
right?
had the goddamn Royal Rumble, bro.
Mm.
And you know who won the goddamn Royal Rumble, bro? The American fucking nightmare, Cody Rhodes, bro.
Congratulations, Cody.
You want to know something? He is the first person in almost a quarter of a decade to win 2 back-to-back Royal Rumbles. The last person to do it was Stone Cold Steve Austin back in 99, 98, 99.
Something like that.
What? Yeah. No, it was definitely yeah. It was absolutely amazing. But yeah, dude, wrestling. If I could talk about it for forever. It's a shame because like Uchi, I was gonna text you. I was like, nah, he's at the event. I don't want to bug him. So I was like, Sarah's on the couch with me while I was watching wrestling, and she's like trying to read her book because her new book just came out. And I'm like, did you just see the thing? Jade Cargill's here. Did you see that? Like, it was so amazing. There were so many good moments. R-Truth had an amazing bit with Tom and Nick Mysterio. Fantastic. Incredible. Oh my gosh. Roman won clean, kind of for once. It wasn't necessarily clean. Solo Sikoa was there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not really clean, but people surprisingly called it clean.
Yeah, so we'll see. But and then we got Jordan Grace from TNA, the Knockouts World Champion in the Women's Royal Rumble, which is so sick. The Women's Rumble actually was probably the best thing of the night. I'm not gonna lie. It was so good. We got Jade. Jade was there. We got a bunch of NXT call-ups. I was kind of glad that there was no like veterans coming back. It was all just focusing on the current roster,
which is good.
Which is really good to finally put not to finally, but to put the spotlight on these people. Last year we got Mickey James from TNA as the women's the TNA knockout champion. I believe she was the knockout champion.
She was.
Yeah, and so this year we got Jordan Grace, which is awesome to see that WWE is willing to work with an outside promotion. Thank you, Hunter. Triple H, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Is really good overall, especially with everything that's been happening in the wrestling world outside of the ring over the past week. It was nice to have a really good feel good moment for everybody. CM Punk unfortunately got injured. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So WWE's WrestleMania plans look like they might be in the shitter. That's okay. They'll figure it out anyway. They got enough star power on that roster to figure something out. But man, I was gonna say God of War, but I could talk forever about that too. But WrestleMania or Royal Rumble was just in my mind just because it happened last night or 2 nights ago. So Dennis, one of these days we'll get you on the wrestling train. It's a drug, dude.
Speaking of that, like I think the last Royal Rumble I saw was The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. It was just like crazy. It was like 2008, 2007. There was like it had to be an annual because there was a big annual event. I remember like, oh, it was the 25th or the
I think it was WrestleMania when Taker and Michaels had their match that Shawn was like scraping. He was like fiending to get back at the Undertaker, and the Undertaker just boom.
Yeah.
It was a good ass match.
Yes. Yeah, Dennis, if you want to go back and watch a really good match, you actually should go watch that because Shawn Michaels and Undertaker put on a fucking show, dude.
Yeah. I remember that, and like who else? Undertaker, and I watched a lot of Undertaker stuff with like Mankind.
Oh, the old we're going back further.
Yeah, Dennis the old head.
Yeah, I like them OG matches. It was good. It was good. It was real good. Yeah. Well, I'd be down. We should watch something and then just like put it up and see what people think.
WrestleMania is going to be in Philadelphia this year. My home turf.
Why are you giving Joey hope for a wrestling channel? Like, why? Why do that to this poor man?
The
Like,
wrestling podcast.
yo, incredibly wrestling. This guy said, like, oh my god.
Oh man, I got the name right now. Holding the belt with Joey. That's
Mm,
it.
Wow.
mm.
Anyways,
I'm not deserving of a belt. Maybe one day. Maybe like a
podcast
briefcase.
belt.
I'll hold the
The podcast
briefcase. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh
I
my
like that. I
god.
like the briefcase. That's all the time that we have for you today. If you love movies, subscribe to Skip the Previews, my YouTube channel, where I share a couple movies, one or two. I did some Oscar live reactions as well, which was very interesting because I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning to see a bunch of very successful people receive award
Yep.
nominations.
You were all wrapped up in a blanket too. I saw that shit.
Yeah.
You're like, good
Yeah.
morning.
Good morning. I'm so tired. But it's fun. And yeah, we all have our things. Joey, where can people find you?
You can find me first and foremost because I'm not really anywhere else. You can find me here on Incredibly if you already haven't. You can find us on Wednesday evenings at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dennis can't see this because he doesn't see the overlays that I have up. However, Uchi has been sporting the brand new golden what do you call it?
Banner thing,
Banner. Yeah,
overlay.
he's
I don't
he's
know.
got a golden bars around his screen today because he won the game. He
That's
won
right.
our it was a quiz
Hey,
that I had created for him. It was I guessed the MCU movie by the first line of dialogue, um, which I got shitted on for because the first
you
movie
did.
was Spider-Man 1, which is not an MCU film. It is
According
Sony if
to
I didn't know. Womp
fucking
womp.
TikTok fans,
Yes.
those frauds.
So I got shitted on, which is fine because it was just engagement, baby. Let's go. Yeah.
Oh, gameplay.
When I first saw that, I was like, no, he didn't. Oh, okay. Well deserved.
Dude, listen, Joey.
I
I
love it.
didn't listen, if I had a problem with it, you would have heard me say something right then and there. And
Yeah.
guess
And
what didn't happen?
yeah,
Mhm.
it's an iconic movie. I could have said guess the Marvel movie, whatever, probably would have been fine. But I said MCU. Sorry, committed a crime. But you can also find me on twitter.com/life my pace and then on Twitch at twitch.tv/house_top. But mainly, well, I'll let somebody else say it. Ooch, where can they find you?
Plant the seeds so I can get these fucking trees. The link tree has all of my social media that you can see. Apparently, it's a lot of links. I got the reaction
It is
from
a lot of
someone.
links.
Yeah, I got a reaction from someone that I met at Frosty. He was like a really nice dude who's teaching. He was really good at Street Fighter. He's teaching me a lot. And then he was like, "Oh, like, do you have like Instagram and all that kind of stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, like." And then I showed him my Instagram. And he's like, "Oh, you got Linktree." He's like, "That's convenient." He opens the link. He's like, "Whoa!" He's like, "You got a lot of shit here." I'm like,
It's a link party in here.
You gotta have a
yeah,
link tree
yeah,
for the link tree.
Oh
yeah,
no.
yeah. Well, yeah, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. Follow me on everything. Hit me up, and right here, 10:30 Eastern, on Incredibly on Wednesdays.
And do not invade his house because you will be taken care of. Remember to drop a comment and follow us on our socials to stay up to date when our next episode drops or when we go live. Please leave us a review on your favorite podcast player. It's going to help us out quite a bit. And remember, you can find all the links we mentioned today in the description below. Thank you guys for being here. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
See ya.